Not far from Berlin, Sachsenhausen concentration camp was one of many sites where people were brutally annihilated on a huge scale during World War II. School groups come here from across Europe to learn about Nazi atrocities.
This is really depressing. It makes me feel very sad.
It's a horrible feeling to be here.
Until now, there has been a consensus in German politics to ensure that the crimes of the Nazi era are not forgotten, especially among younger generations. But the far-right AfD reject this. They claim Nazi history takes up too much school time and say the culture of remembrance is bad for Germany.
The effect, ladies and gentlemen, is quite clear. Young people are systematically brought up to feel guilt and shame about being German, and they learn to associate Germany with evil.
These sentiments are not just expressed in parliamentary debates. The director of the Sachsenhausen Memorial says sites like this are directly targeted by the far right.
There was a group here that was either in the AfD or aligned with it. We don't know if they were party members who were denying Nazi crimes. An investigation by the public prosecutor's office is continuing. These people even denied the existence of the gas chambers.
Provocations like these are only part of the AfD's tactics. For example, in the state of Baden-Württemberg, the party has tried to reduce public funding for memorials. There is no majority support for such measures, but some fear that public opinion may change.
Without financial support, these institutions can no longer fulfill their educational mandate, and that is open to political manipulation.
The AfD says Germany's Nazi past should be seen in a wider context.
We also want to focus on the positive aspects of German history, because we think every nation needs positive points to identify with.
Stressing the favorable aspects of German history is pulling the wool over people's eyes. I think it's wrong and downright dangerous. We have done important work over decades, taking a critical look at our own history.
A political conflict that could affect the future of Germany's public memorials.
And for more, I'm joined by Dr. Felix Klein. He's Germany's anti-Semitism commissioner in Frankfurt. Welcome, Dr. Klein. Now, as we heard, the far-right AfD is trying to change the culture of remembrance that is so unique and so important to Germany. How worried are you that they will succeed?
Well, they have attempted, and we've seen several attacks against our remembrance culture, and unfortunately, we have to accept that many people in Germany think that way. And of course, government and all the other parties should work out strategies to show and to make it clear to the German public that our remembrance culture has made our democracy strong and is really an asset for our society. And so this is...
As a new generation grows up in Germany, Dr. Klein, how do you see the culture of remembrance evolving?
Well, the question is always how do we present the remembrance culture to the younger generations, also to migrants, people who've come to Germany recently, and we have to find new forms of remembrance culture that appeals to everybody. And of course, it is appalling to note that a large number of German students does not know what Auschwitz is, what the concentration camp, what the Holocaust is. And there we really have to find new answers. And the memorial sites have a growing responsibility in that context.
Now, anti-Semitic crimes are on the rise in Germany. That's according to statistics, but also in other European countries. So what do you suggest as a Commissioner for Anti-Semitism in Germany? What needs to be done to tackle this?
Well, we have to, once again, to develop a remembrance culture that appeals to everybody, that we should make clear to ourselves how dangerous this is for our civil society when it collapses, like it did in the 1930s and 40s. So remembrance culture, but then also education is very important. People should realize that Jewish life is something very normal. It's an integral part of German culture, and anybody who attacks that attacks our own culture. And it's not only an attack against a Jewish person, but against the society as a whole. And so we have to grow that feeling. So teachers in schools and also the general public should get the techniques and to get to know the way how they tackle anti-Semitic wordings and attacks in order to counter that.
To what extent is this rise of anti-Semitism linked to the rise of the far right in Germany?
Well, I wouldn't say that the far right, also AfD as a whole, I wouldn't say that it's an anti-Semitic party, but unfortunately they have used anti-Semitic rhetoric, and leading politicians of the AfD have openly expressed anti-Semitic views, and they do so because they think they will have success in the political arena. So we have to talk about that and to make it clear that any anti-Semitic rhetoric, wherever it comes from the far right, from the far left, or from Muslims, is not acceptable in our country.
Right. Felix Klein, Germany's Anti-Semitism Commissioner, thank you very much for talking to DW.
Thank you.